begun. Captain Dave is on the bridge with a salty stare. There's a heavy scent of diesel in the humid air. He looks across the harbor at the shiny hulls, ignoring all the tourists and the screaming gulls. He says, stop fishing for boats and find the deep. There are promises for ocean that we have to keep. Oh, turn the handle, Randall, let the drag just scream. Living out of Cabo San Lucas fishing dream. They hate people with suntans and smiles on their face, but we're finding our freedom in this liquid space. Turn off the news, they're all lying to you anyway. We're out here killing fish at the breaking of the day.
All righty, Kevin and Michael, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is an absolute amazing day again. The Fish and Game Commission is up to their old tricks again. On Thursday, we're going to be posting this and we're going to be talking about it. But on Thursday, they are going to have a roundtable discussion or whatever the hell they want to call it about white sharks, which none of us fish for anyway. It's a waste of time. But the big thing, Michael, Kevin doesn't really know about these fish because it's kind of foreign to him. He's seen a lot of pictures of them, but the California white sea bass, which we have spent a phenomenal amount of our money saving these things. They've decided in their infamous wisdom that they want to change the legal size from 28 to 35 inches. It's going to be the most devastating thing that's happened to the California white sea bass, because now we have to kill fish that are 29 to 35 inches because, gang, I don't know if any of you guys have ever caught a white sea bass. No matter what size they are, they do not live through the hookup. They don't live. You can't throw them back. They die. They're dead. Now we're going to throw back 29 to 35 inch fish. I don't know if you've ever caught one or held one, but
they are delicate.
They are super delicate. And just the way, I'm not talking Michael Folks or Kevin or myself, you net them out of the water and you put a blankie on them and you love them and then you put them back in the water. These fish are not going to survive this. It's the lamest thing I've ever heard of in my life. Now, when I was a kid, you could keep one under 28 inches and then the science showed that that was okay. And then the science showed that they had to be 28 inches because they spawn X amount of times. Now, the made up science, the stuff we make up, says that the way we've been doing it for all these years is no good. Kevin, let me tell you something. Michael and I have watched. There was a time where you didn't even see any of these.
They were, for all intent and purposes, they were extinct.
And now we have hatcheries and we've spent tons of our money making sure that this fish is able to, that you can actually go out on a trip and expect to catch one now, which is amazing. So now, I guess too many of us showed that we enjoy it. And we had a smile on our face when we're holding up this 29-inch white sea bass or this 32-inch white sea bass. So now on Thursday, they're going to have the big meeting. I cannot find anybody talking about it anywhere, anytime, anything going on. Nobody. None of the great fishing shows, none of the great fishing radio shows, once again, I am the bad guy. I'm telling everybody that this is about to happen.
It's your fault anyway from giving all the guidance out there on your website. So, it's your fault everyone's catching them now.
Everybody's learned how to fish sea bass because of you.
Right. And I don't even know how to fish for them, but we give out enough information that you're going to go and you got a chance to catch one. Justin's been catching a few on his trips and stuff, but it's absolutely ludicrous, gang. And they just gotta, I don't know if we showed this enough, and I don't have it right now, but Frank Lopresti said they're on a mission to stop us from fishing, period. And this is another example of that, right?
It's death through 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, it's just one more thing. And then there's absolute some booger eaters that like to fish, but are saying, well, it's about time that we did something because I can't catch one. Just because you suck doesn't mean there aren't any. I'm sorry. It's just like when they took the calico bass. I know Michael doesn't like it, but when they took the calico bass from 12 inches to 14 inches, that's ludicrous, because just because you don't know how to catch calico bass doesn't mean there aren't any calico bass. And to take them from 12 inches, which was a sustainable size, and then make us kill 14 inches. And I know you don't make it, but you do, because before we threw back 14 inches and 15 inches and 6, but now you've made it so that you've pigeonholed us so tiny that there's very, very little bit of fish to catch in the ocean right now, because you've made it so that we're not allowed to catch anything. And I'm sorry, but there's a lot of boats that take people out fishing that want to catch a fish to take it home and eat it. And it's just absolutely crazy that death by 1,000 cuts. That's exact. You can't sum it up anymore.
Yeah, it's the only good news about the 12 to 14 inch extension on the calicos is those are extremely hardy fish. They're the exact opposite of a white sea bass.
Yeah,
you can do anything you want to a calico bass, and they'll just say thank you and swim away.
Until the sea lion eats them.
Yeah, if they're too tired. But a sea bass, they just look at you and they're going to roll on you.
They're dead.
Yeah, they just have no endurance, no ability to sustain handling.
And this goes back to what Kevin and you were talking about last week or the week before, how you handle your fish and how you take care of your fish. But I'm talking sport boat with 25, 30 people on it, or I'm talking Michael Folks, the vintage. It doesn't matter. These fish they can't handle stress at all.
Nope.
They can't handle, they come up dead when you catch them anyway.
They come up pretty exhausted. The only thing we've been able to do that's even remotely possibly successful would be, when you get the fish up, you just lean over with a knife and cut the line right at the jaw, and never handle them. You never take them out of the water. You never touch them. You keep them away from the boat, and you're just basically slashing the line and letting them go. And, we've had optimistic hope that works as a release technique. But if you handle those fish, they're done. So you can't take a 34-inch fish, weigh it out, or measure it out and say, oh, it's half inch too short, I got to let it go. It's dead. It's just like releasing the big cows. It's like those cows come up from 500-600 feet. I don't care if you hook their gills and drop them down a couple hundred feet and release them. If you don't do it right, they're dead too.
Right.
There's a whole row of cows floating behind a boat, dead, just getting picked apart by seagulls and sea lions.
Yep. So I want everybody that's watching the show to share the hell out of this. This happens Thursday, July 16th. We're going to share it tomorrow. We're going to talk more about it. We're going to share. I want you all to be on this Zoom call again, like always. And just, if you think it's the greatest thing in the world, go ahead and talk about it being the greatest thing in the world. If you think it's stupid, talk about it. Don't say stupid, because they all shut down when they hear that, but just tell them this fish can't handle it or whatever.
Too close to home.
But it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But hey, today, for fun, we're going to watch El Niño 1991 with Todd Manser on the Some Fun. Can you talk about this for a few minutes, Michael, before we roll the footage?
Well, it was the first El Niño of my life that I could remember.
No, this was 91. This was 91. The real El Niño you remember was 83.
Yes, that's right. The big one was 83. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you look at Todd in this video though, and it looks like 83, but he was like 12 and 83.
Because we're all 12 years old.
But in 91, Todd was a pretty young man. I'm blown away at how young he looks in these videos.
And watch how smart he is too in the wheelhouse. I mean, this guy, what was it? 91, 30 years ago? Over 30 years ago, and he still is. I mean, the vast array of knowledge that he had at that age and his ability to communicate it was unbelievable. And today, he's one of the leading spokespersons in Southern California for our industry.
Exactly. He's pretty cool, Kevin. You're going to like this a lot. It's pretty cool. It's some phenomenal footage. Michael was there with all of us back in the day when all the cool stuff was happening. Michael put it all onto video, and it was spectacular to go back and revisit these things today.
Well, and I've definitely been watching these and trying to take some production notes myself as I get ready to try to do, some of my own videos of my own fishing and things like that. So it's been a lot of fun to watch these different fishing scenarios. And it's one of those where, for me, am I out on the sea fishing right now? No, but I can take a lot of these production elements, and these are all things that, if you're out fishing with your family and you want to document it, take a look at how Michael videos these fishing experiences. You can do it yourself if you just pay attention. So I think that's great to show people that it is possible to capture these memories in any scenario.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm super, it'll be like the 20th time I've watched this, but I'm super excited to watch it with you guys. So
yeah, me too. It's going to be fun going back and seeing this.
So let's get into this, and here we go.
Oh. Welcome to Inside Sport Fishing. I'm Michael Folks, and thanks for joining us as we continue our El Nino coverage from Dana Wharf Sport Fishing on board Tom Dancer's Some Fun. On the troll. Tip up. I don't know. Wind. All the way. Come on down. Come on. Keep going. Oh yeah. I think I'm. Sir, you have color? I think I got one going. Wind. Let him down, guys. No. Tom's up, fish. Wind, sir. You gotta wind. Wind them. We gotta get in the boat. Gotta turn the handle. Oh! Oh, fresh one! Man, I lost this one.
Perfect. That's it. There we go. That's it. Okay. Hold the rod to the 5. Okay. Bring that back to me. Bring that back to me. Okay, step back. I want you to step back this way, okay? Step back this way. Okay, step back this way. He's bit right now. He's right in the middle of the tangle bit. Okay, walk back to me. We're gonna have to cut you here.
Forget 3. Ah, Jesus. Sea lion's gonna get one.
Walk this way. Walk
You guys
this way.
gotta
Come
get
back.
these fish in quick. That dog's gonna eat them here.
I got mackerel right there. Throw that
Throw
to the
that
dog.
mackie at
Throw
him.
that mackerel. I got 3 of them up there. Okay, now I want you to walk this way now. Side step this way and reel. Okay, sir, you're gonna have to come underneath here. Go back here.
Dog will eat them quicker and come off.
Lift this rod up, right up in the air. There we go, just like that. Now, come this way. There we are. Okay, all clear. Okay, now, sir, I want you to come underneath him, come over the top of him. Now, just follow right around here. Just walk up to the rail. You don't have to do that. Walk up. Okay, that'll work.
I think we lost one to the dog here. He lost that one.
Okay, now step up to the rail. Hold that rod tip up high. You guys sound back. Just have that thing in soon. Okay, where's the other gentleman at?
Lost one to the dog.
Big dog, too.
What you got?
Yeah.
Not much left.
Big dog. Where's that other mackerel?
This one was a yellowtail over here, definitely.
I saw him eat it.
He's out there.
Another one here.
Big dog.
Is that 40 pound test?
Take your thumb off the spool. Take your thumb off the spool. Okay. Now I want you to lift up on him. Lift up, okay.
He's gonna need to tighten that drag up a little bit. Get the single
Okay.
boat. He's got
Let's test the drag. Just hold it right there.
Pretty loose. Put some pressure on him.
Just a hair. Just a hair. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna have to fight a little bit of your drag. Try your drag on right there. It's up for you. Jump on it. Now reel down.
Just short bumping him, Chris.
Yeah. Try to turn his head. Get him coming up. Okay. Hold the rod tip out there. I want you to take a step over. Just take a step over the knee. Now lift up. Lift up on him. Okay, now okay. Dog got it.
Oh my God, it was a big one too.
Yeah. Was he yellow?
Oh, dirty rusty line. Oh.
Yeah, it was a nice one.
Well, that dog just ruined this whole spot.
He's full by the time he got to that one.
He's maxed out. He's about 1,000 pounds.
Here, I got
Number 12. There we go.
Todd, what happened here?
Well, we kind of resorted to come here and fish some calico bass because the fish kind of went down on the outside. We were fishing the yellowtail and things just kind of all kind of sank out on us. They put their noses down and scattered. So calico bass is a resort.
That'll work.
12. Looks a little short. We can check it out.
So some people are asking, who's that without a shirt on? That's Chris Pica. He went on to have a phenomenal career at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. He worked for the family for 30 years. Todd Manser's coming in. He just called me. He's coming in on the show here in a second. So we're going to see Todd. So there he is. There's the man, the myth, the legend, Todd Manser.
Hey, Todd.
Hey, Michael. Hi,
How are you,
Dave.
buddy?
Did you guys can hear me okay? I'm here.
Yeah, we hear you fine, buddy.
What's happening?
We're watching you when you were a little kid.
Oh, yeah. That must be the 1990s version of El Niño invasion.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is. We just watched a sea lion eat one of your yellowtail. Now you've slid into the beach and you're fishing calicos.
I can barely see the person who's in frame, and it looks like Mark Mills's muscles when he was younger.
You got it. That's Mr. Mills when he was a stud.
Yeah. Oh, we had a lot of fun back then.
We're going to watch a few minutes of it with you here, Todd, and then we'll stop it here in a minute and talk to you.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's watch again.
So he fires them in. Don't allow it. Anyways.
And he doesn't go. A little short. Put him back. 12 inches?
How long is it?
That's a little fast.
There we go.
We're just gonna measure him out.
This guy's gonna be borderline.
And he goes.
14, sir?
All right. Snapping, man.
I'm legal though. He's legal. Number 5.
5.
There's another one. There's another one. Here you go, sir. Nice live bait, Jay. Calico Master biting.
Grumpy one, there you go. Looks a little short. We'll let him go back.
Second one, yeah.
There we go.
He's pretty darn close. Let's check him out here. He's got a long and skinny 12 and an 1/8 inch tail. Number? 11. 11? Very good. Yeah, there's a yellowtail in there too.
Fly line or split shot? What do you recommend?
You know what? We got a little bit of current here, so you could probably put on a split shot or maybe an 8-ounce side sinker.
Yeah,
Look at this one here, Mike. There we go. That's the right stuff.
Yeah, there we go.
We're starting to see a little more quality here now. Whoop! And there comes the hook. We'll have to get your hook out. There you go.
23 he is.
23.
20? Yeah.
23.
23. Nice fish right here.
On the plastic? On the
Fish trout, smell color.
That's a nice fish.
Nice fish.
Nice one.
All right. Thank you. And we're gonna let a nice fish like this go right now. Let him take off. There he goes.
Yeah, one of the big babies.
Local fishing off the Southern California coast simply doesn't get any better than it's been this season. A season that is destined to go into the record books and will forever be remembered as the endless summer.
So Todd, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I got you.
All right. So let everybody know what's going on here, because you were making some phenomenal decisions back in these days, and you were super young.
Oh yeah. So gosh, that was probably around 1992, right there, I guess. But the one thing that I want to point out is, you go back there and you look at, we were, measuring for 12-inch size limits. Now we're at a 14-inch size limit. We were letting big ones go. We were worried about conservation as anglers back then, just as like we are today. But that was some pretty incredible.
Oh, we lost Todd.
Yeah. I think I was going to say it was some pretty incredible fish.
We lost you, Todd. You got to park somewhere where you got good. Yeah, park.
Somewhere you got parked.
Yeah, we'll watch a little bit more of this. We'll get back with you.
Yeah, I don't know how you lost me. Let me go.
With El Niño's warm water, abundance of bait, and endless schools of pelagics cruising within miles of the beach, the fishing was almost automatic.
Can you hear me?
And when we come back, we'll be joining veteran operator Todd Manser on board the Sum Fun as we bait up and then head out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing on a 3/4 day trip in search of some local yellowtail.
All right, Todd. Hello? We got nothing, Todd.
I got you, but you don't me.
We got nothing.
Fishery in the world
Hang on.
utilizes live bait the way our Southern California sport fishing fleet does. And there are no harder working, more dedicated men in the fishing business than our bait haulers. Working endless hours out there alone throughout the night, these are the men that each and every day bring home the bacon, a fact that many of us take for granted. We just assume that when we climb on board our favorite sport boat that the bait will be waiting for us. From sardines and anchovies to live squid, without the tireless efforts of these silent heroes, we'd be out of luck. From Morro Bay to San Diego, each and every one of us owes our local bait haulers a huge amount of gratitude. So next time you're at the receiver, take a minute and give a little extra thanks to these guys, because without live bait, we wouldn't be able to experience the quality and consistency of fishing that we've come to expect when riding on board a boat in Southern California.
You're welcome aboard the Sunfine. My name is Todd, your captain. We need to start going over a few things here to ensure your safety before we get outside the harbor. First, we'd like to inform everybody where all the life-saving equipment is located. And we have child and adult life jackets located inside the gray and white boxes for the bait tank down the main deck.
What we're going to be doing here today is basically we're looking for yellowtail. It's all been eyeball fishing. It's been a big area of fish here. We've got fish anywhere from off San Clemente Pier all the way down on in Oceanside down into Del Mar. Quite a spread of fish. Most of this fish has been all eyeball fish. It's all been breezers, breaking fish, stopping on bird schools. We were very successful yesterday. We've been chipping away at nice fish counts here on these things. It's not talent fishing. Just about anybody can get out here and do this type of fishing. In fact, some of these fish have even been caught on sinkers. With a light load, it's pretty fun. Right now what I'm doing is I'm going to kind of swing outside here because there's some fish even moving further up the line. In fact, there's a couple of boats reported some breezers up off Abalone Point, Laguna, Crystal Cove, Corona Del Mar, in that area, Laguna Beach. So we kind of want to swing outside here so as not to miss anything. There have been a few fish on the kelp patties, but we haven't really been targeting them. The reason why is everything's been on the inside. We're fishing anywhere from 60 feet of water out to about 120 feet, if you can believe that. Everything's in real tight here. And so all the kelp patties that we see have pretty much been hit by the smaller boats that have the capability of traveling much faster than we do. They're all sticking with us, and if you scan around here, you'll see a lot of private boats, skiffs, yachts, etc. So it's real tough to get up on a kelp patty that's, say, 4 or 5 miles down the line from us when all these skiffs have kind of gone down the line and tried them. There are some fish under them. But, I'd say it's about 1 out of every 50 that's holding. So basically what we're going to do is get down here and look for this eyeball fish. We kind of want to start looking here early. The little white birds, little terns have been on it real good. They're all eating cleary bait. So right now they're a little lethargic. They've been eating a food that's real easy to catch. So they're not that aggressive, which is why our counts haven't been any higher than what they've been. A good day out here has been anywhere from 25 to 60, 80 fish, which is pretty good for a 3/4 day or an all-day boat here. There have been some bigger counts down south, so we're hoping that maybe this new wave that's kind of pushing up through here is going to provide us with maybe some more fish that are a little hungrier. Chances are they might get in this area and find this cleary bait, this mackerel, and start feeding on it and become a little lethargic.
So Todd, where did he go?
He's up there. No, that's not him.
There he is.
I'm
Todd,
here. I'm parked.
There you go, buddy. So talk about what you're doing.
So gosh, that was some incredible fishing. So earlier in that year, Tommy Vance was flying for Steve Lasley and was starting to see some big schools of yellowtail come across, and we were actually the first day that we got on that fish. Tommy was flying for Steve Lasley. Steve was running the Mirage, and we spent the better part of probably 40 minutes running down a school that Tommy was circling for a while for us to get to, and that was the beginning of an epic year. We had a phenomenal amount of coastal yellowtail. It got so good at one point you could drive out blindfolded and just stop the boat and actually start getting bit. It made it real easy. You know, back then we didn't have all the technology we have. The Sum Fund didn't have a sonar yet. We ended up getting a sonar a couple of years later after that. So, you know, we were looking for everything, you know, either through binoculars with our eyes or on the up and down on the fathometer. But that was a pretty incredible year. The water was warming up and it was pushing a lot of yellowtail out of Baja into Southern California to get away from that was actually one of the El Nino years. And so when that warm water started to produce there was a lot of yellowtail in central and northern Baja that needed to get a little further up and stay in that temperate water, and it ended up in Southern California. And man, it was just epic fishing. It was a lot of fun. You didn't have to have a lot of talent to go out there and be able to catch a few. And we of course, we caught a lot on the surface iron, a lot on the yo-yo iron, but most of the stuff was just live bait fishing. It's the way we were back then. It was a lot of live bait stuff, and we'd carry 50 passengers and go out there and figure out how to untangle them and get them on the boat. It was a lot of fun.
Mostly anchovy fishing back then too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was mostly anchovy. Yeah, we were just starting to see a sprinkling of sardines show up. A lot of times, when the sardines showed up, the bait receiver, for us, especially in the springtime, like in early summer, June, well, actually, really spring, May, April, May, June, if we didn't have anchovies, we were crying, because it was really hard to catch limits of barracuda and limits of sand bass and all the, calico bass that we wanted to catch back then on sardines. Barracuda had a really tough time with them. You'd get short bait a lot. We just cry the blues if we didn't have anchovies. And so even though there were, sardines showing up, our bait company fished Lampara. So, they were still, targeting mostly anchovy, and it made it really easy for us. Back then everybody knew how to cast an anchovy. Now, if anchovies are at the bait receiver, everybody kind of cries, and it used to be the opposite back then. Yep. Back then when we had anchovies, we were stoked. If we had sardines, if we found out that John Mello brought in a load of sardines to the bait receiver in the late 80s and early 90s, mid 90s, we'd pull back into the slip and have our crew members go up and pick 20 pounds of frozen squid up so we could go and catch sand bass and everything else, because the sardines were so hard for us to catch what we were trying to catch back then. It would have been nice to have a little bit more of that sardine for that yellowtail, but the anchovy worked just fine.
Hey, Tom, just I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, everybody's making remarks about all the spinning rods on the boat back in those days, but you just said why there's so many spinning rods, because you can fling an anchovy out there, and everybody was doing it.
Yeah, we actually started encouraging people to bring spinning rods. And shortly after that, we started offering spinning rod tackle at the landing at Niño Sportfishing as rental gear, because it increased our fish counts for fly line and calico bass to catching yellowtail, and even small tuna. It was just an easier way for us to go. People could cast and we could catch more fish, and so spinning rods were starting to become very popular. And now the technology behind some of the spinning gear is just phenomenal. It's a blast to fish, and you can catch everything from a 100+ pound bluefin on a popper on a spinning rod to, heck, we were product testing the new Tesoros in Baja and Magdalena Bay. I don't know how many marlin I caught on striped marlin I've caught on spinning rods, and wahoo. Just a lot of fun. It was just kind of getting started back then. Everybody called them coffee grinders. Nobody quite understood it, and but our fish counts changed. If people could cast, get a bait away from the boat, they were getting bit, and we were figuring everything else after that.
And Todd, real quick, for those that don't know fully, can you give us sort of a brief overview of actually what an El Nino occurrence is? How does that all work? What's going on?
So what happens is down at the equator, the winds that normally blow east to west literally quit. So like right now, the reason why we have such a strong prediction of a super El Nino is the winds, the trade winds that normally blow east to west at quite a pretty good clip, have completely quit, and that allows that water to start rapidly warming up and then expanding, and then with that expansion, it starts to create opportunities for water to be pushed around through either tropical depressions, and upwellings. And so what we end up with is we here in Southern California end up with the results of an El Nino that's occurring down at the equator, and then producing an amazing amount of warm water. And what's different this year than a lot of our El Ninos, but in comparison to 2015, is we're also getting a warm blob on top of the El Nino. And so we could talk about what causes warm blobs. There's a few different scientific reasons why the ocean temperatures warm up and we get ocean heat waves like this. This is not necessarily yet an El Nino right now. We're experiencing a warm blob. Um, and there's, it just depends on where you want to get your research. If you want to go and search into climate change, you can certainly find reasons for that. But if you start to look at cyclically how the earth wobbles on its axis and where we are positioned right now at the equator to the sun, it's inevitable that we're going to have ocean warming for a little while, and that trend unfortunately has its sacrifices. So when we have ocean heat waves, it is detrimental. I mean, it's bad on our habitat, our kelp forests. It just rearranges everything. It relocates things. But on the flip side of it, you could end up having exceptional seasons where you have tropical fish coming in from different locations platonically. We could end up with yellowfin tuna, skipjack tuna. We've already got marlin here. We've already got dorado here. I gave you the explanation of why the yellowtail come up here. So we have a large population of yellowtail that, live along the Baja coast. And as that water warms up, it pushes that fish north. And the warmer it gets down there, the more that fish wants to be up here. For example, look at how good it was in 2014 was phenomenal. But that's kind of what happens. The trade winds back off, water becomes vulnerable to heat. It starts to expand, and then you start to see tropical depressions, and water starts being vulnerable to different types of pushes, and we end up with an El Nino.
So as that whole massive body of water off the Baja gets pushed forward, gets pushed north, it just brings the fish with it. So whatever's down there off Mag Bay or whatever, it just moves up the coast and just keeps going to stay within a certain climate temp of those waters, right?
So on an ocean heat wave, that is correct, because we get so much tropical depression to the southeast. So like I have to give you an example. In 2015, in June, we had the largest hurricane since satellite imagery started. So that was Hurricane Christina. That was, I can't remember the date exactly, but I think it was June 15th. That was a category 4. And from June 15th until the end of the year of 2015, we went through the alphabet naming tropical depressions, hurricanes, and storms. And that created a push of water that created the ridge of high pressure that changed weather patterns across the continental United States, because it created this ridge of high pressure so far to the north that it stopped the jet stream from being able to bring precipitation into Southern California. And what it did is it shifted the trough, and that allowed cold water or cold air to drop in through the Midwest, because the trough had shifted, and not allowing that low pressure to come down the coast. It instead came down from the Arctic, went through the Midwest and all the way to places like Georgia, and literally freezing temperatures, creating a polar vortex. That's what the ocean heat wave created. The ridge of high pressure was tremendous, and it pushed a lot of water to the north, which is still happening. El Nino, we could see fish from Baja come up from El Ninos, but where we tend to see our fish come from on an El Nino is more from the south. So when we get good El Nino here, like if you watch this video, El Nino invasion, where we're catching yellowfin tuna, we're also catching a lot of skipjack, but we're not catching skipjack that are indigenous to Baja. In fact, you never catch this skipjack in Baja. You catch black tunies that have 3 little spots below their pectoral fin, and they're skipjack. But the skipjack that we catch during El Nino, the referees, the purple people eaters, those are Hawaiian skipjack. It's a little bit different breed of cat. So we get that fish that comes in from Hawaii. In fact, a lot of our fish, including our marlin and our dorado, typically come from that direction. We do sometimes, like in 2015, see fish come up all the way out of Baja. And for example, in 2015, we ended up catching wahoo. That fish did not come from Hawaii. That fish came all the way up from Mag Bay and got pushed all the way up here into Southern California with whale sharks. We had pufferfish, we had needlefish.
We had we had manta rays. We had all sorts of tropical fish that got pushed up from Baja. But that's the occurrence of ocean heat waves and warm blobs. The El Nino, most of the time, what we see is more from the south. Does that make sense? Have I talked too much?
It does, absolutely. And a lot of those fish from the Hawaiian Islands, when you say the skipjack are coming over, they're bringing with them the big blue marlins too. So as that whole body of water comes from Hawaii, it's bringing a lot of those pelagic species along with them. So we have some phenomenal blue marlin fishing up here in 2015 as well.
Well, and if the previous winter and polar vortexes are any indication of what you're about to have, let me tell you, this past winter in the Midwest, we had some of the worst polar vortex. It was absolutely miserably cold. So if that's any indication, y'all better buckle up because it's coming.
So Todd, you got to find a better spot to park your horrible audio right now. We're going to watch a little bit more of this.
But sooner or later, these fish are going to go on the snap, and it's going to be an excellent bite. We can almost count on it. So anyways, we want to kind of start looking here and hope for an excellent day.
Really? The bait looked good this morning too, didn't it?
We had nice bait. We had a little mix of sardine anchovy, and we also had some Spanish mackerel and some small greenback mackerel in it to kind of mix it up a little bit. So it should be interesting. These fish have been eating the anchovies better than the sardines, believe it or not. I don't know what it is. Maybe the fact that they're kind of lethargic and the sardines have a tendency to kind of stay up a little higher when you're fly lining, and the anchovies will kind of sink out a little bit. I don't know what it is. You know, we butt hooked sardines and got them swimming down. We've tried everything, but it seems that we're getting better on the anchovies and the small mackerel. It might just be because of what they've been eating here recently. Feeding on this clary bait and the mackerel, maybe the anchovies are just a little more appetizing or easier to catch, as these fish, I said, are a little lethargic.
Todd, what do you think, 12 or 15 pound test?
Yeah, we've had fish caught on 40, but if you only want to catch one, that's about it. They're not that aggressive, and they're not eating the heavy very well. The guys that are fishing 30 and 40 pound, you know, maybe have a chance at 1 or 2 fish, but the guys that are fishing 12 and 15, I had guys yesterday that hooked 5, 6, 7 fish, okay. And on a 3/4 day or a half day boat, that's pretty damn good fishing yellowtail.
Your fly line 1 on?
Yeah, we've been using a little smaller hook. As I said, these fish are still a little twitchy. You know, they're not that eager to go on the chew. We've had to work really hard to get bit, so we've been going down to like a number 2 or a number 1. The largest hooks we've been using have been a 1/0. They've been getting bit the best, and the fish have been staying on. Fish have been ranging anywhere from 4 to 8 on the smaller fish, which is a small yellowtail. I'd say the average fish has been about 12 pounds, and we've seen fish up to 20. So it's been pretty interesting. Yeah, it's a nice mix of fish. Let's go get them.
Those are all yellows, Todd?
Straight yellowtail, guys.
Look at that puddling school.
Solid yellow.
Coming up with it. Okay.
Right here, guys. Popped up right here. Here's the out. Let him go. Let him go.
Solid yellow.
Coming up with it. Yeah, it is the other ones. Okay, guys, what I want you to do here, I want you to step back, and you guys, I want you to walk around here and follow your line so you don't tangle up this fish. Okay, step back, Mason. Okay, follow them around now. Follow them around. Yeah, take your thumb. Don't press down on that line. You just lost one that way. Okay, guys, keep walking around. Keep walking around. Keep moving. Okay, gang, we're going to follow our lines this way, please. All right, here. Come back around. Come back around.
So Todd, now you're back with us. All right.
Yep.
Great. So that spot of fish, did that come to the boat? Did the Clemente cut you off? Did it end up coming? What happened?
No, that spot of fish came to the boat really well for a minute. It just didn't stick with the boat. We'd get a wave, hang a few, and then you'd watch the stuff pop up, and it would come up in front of you, and and just keep on trucking up the line, and you'd go, try to get on it again if you could. And it gave you a lot of chances. It was pretty forgiving, but it wasn't wide open yet. You'd get a handful of bites, and then you'd get what you got out of it. You could see how we worked with a lot of people and manage tangles and get a few fish on the boat, and then we'd go back and get on it again. And there was quite a few schools. It was fun, and eventually that stuff started chewing nails. It got really good. It got really, really good.
There's a lot of people that are going to be blown away from back east and all over Australia and stuff that watch our show. What was some of the biggest counts back then for your yellowtail? Kingfish, those of you in Australia.
So we before they changed size limits on yellowtail or before they put a size limit on juveniles. So, and I shouldn't even say juveniles, but they gave us a fork length of 24 inches so we could keep 5 under and 5 over. So this is going back before that. There were days where we caught 600 for 60 people. So we were doing 10 fish per person, bag limits, and it literally limiting out. So that year, or actually, pardon me, in 1996, the sport fishing community, the commercial sport fishing community of Southern California, I want to say we had over 225,000 yellowtail landed. And it was just phenomenal. But that's San Diego, Oceanside, Dana Point, Newport Beach, Long Beach, all of us in combination turning in our fish logs. That was a phenomenal year. And it still didn't compare to 2022, where we ended up catching 306,000 Dorado for the sport fishing community of Southern California. And when you hear of those numbers, people think, oh my gosh, that's a lot of fish to be taken out. Nope, there's absolutely no concerns of stock on yellowtail and Dorado. They're doing very, very well. Dorado especially is just a phenomenal stock worldwide. They're the fastest growing fish on the planet. They double their size every 2 weeks until they reach maturity. They're just an eating machine, and they're very plentiful. But those are some of the types of fishing that we get when we get this, these unique ocean heat waves and El Niños on top of each other.
I know. I just wanted you to touch on the numbers because I talk about the numbers a lot on our show, and people think I'm out of my mind when I say, 600 yellowtail on one boat. Not all the boats combined, one boat, 600 yellowtail from a trip that went out at 6 in the morning and got back at 4 in the afternoon. 600 yellowtail day after day, week after week. You guys, it's incomprehensible what we were doing back then, but we just did this in 2022 with the Dorado. There's no shortage of fish, gang. There is no shortage of fish, but they're pigeonholing us into a spot where we're not allowed to catch anything anymore. And I can't emphasize enough that we all have to be here on this meeting and I'm going to go off for a script for a second, Todd, but on Thursday, there's a Fish and Game Commission meeting where they're going to try to make the white sea bass 35 inches to keep. And I just can't even comprehend how many white sea bass are going to die to fit this thing. That doesn't make any sense to me. To anybody, maybe it does to you, but I don't think so.
Yeah, the recovery rate they might make some new things that go into effect, but I hope not. But on a standard J hook, if you hook a white sea bass, and you struggle to release it quickly, I don't care how big they are, they struggle to survive. They're very delicate, so that is going to be very tough to release those fish. I think that's a tough size limit. I think that we have a great size limit, but yeah, we're going to be up against that one here pretty soon. But I gotta go back to what Michael was saying. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, you guys just disappeared. But Michael was talking about blue marlin up here, and that
that's happened a lot, where we get blue marlin up here. In fact, I can remember years where it wasn't even necessarily an El Nino. We just, had some ocean heat waves, and we didn't really account for, warm blobs and all that kind of stuff back then. But I've seen blue marlin up here my whole life. It's kind of a really cool thing when you do get to hook one, see one, catch one in Southern California, and it of course revolves around warm water. But they come up here a lot more than people think. We see blue marlin up here.
Well, I remember you at 83 or something, 84, when you're a Cypelurus with a plank on it, sticking one of those things.
Yeah, that was in. So, by the way, that's acceptable. You're allowed to have one a day, but yeah, not striped marlin, but blue marlin. That one was 484 pounds, and that I want to say that was in 91. That had to be 91, right around there. That was 6 miles off San Onofre.
Yeah, he was. I remember. Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible what everybody's about to witness. We won't talk about the ill effects after this is over or what's going to happen to Kevin in the Midwest, but what we're going to experience here in the next 3 months is just going to be absolutely unbelievable. The numbers are going to be staggering, wouldn't you say?
I'm sure counting on it. I believe strongly that that we're about to see a pretty good fall and late summer season. Like, Dave, you and I go a long ways back, and you've talked about finding that yellowfin into the dolphin with Brockman and that kind of stuff. But if you recall, and people just the bluefin tuna have changed everything, and it's been a benefit for our fishery that we have this bluefin tuna here, and we can start catching it in Baja and the early months of the season, and up in here Southern California in June and July. But yellowfin tuna, when we see them here on like great numbers like we did back in, going back to 83 and 92 and 95, 2024. Those fish came from Hawaii, and there's a long distance between where they start and where they end up, and they don't show up here in June. They don't live here year round. So you've got this time period where this transitional period where this water starts to change before these fish show up, and it's usually just about the time the kids are getting ready to go back to school. Remember, Dave? And then all of a sudden the yellowfin tuna would start biting, and we keep the boats full until November. It was phenomenal. And so that's likely what'll happen. The Dorado already starting to show up. Carl's seeing more and more. It started off where they were far and few between, and now he's seeing more Dorado showing up, more free swimming yellows. It's starting to shape up to look pretty darn good. I told people, you can turn the jacuzzi on and have the jets running. It doesn't mean anybody's going to come and sit in it, but it looks like the people are getting ready to come, or the fish are getting ready to come. So
great analogy.
Yeah.
So in this episode we're watching, and in general with what you're about to have with fishing conditions, you were saying in this episode that you had minimal to no electronics at the time. When you're looking and doing essentially sight fishing like you are here, what are you looking for? Are you looking for just like a big bubble area, like a rough patch, and otherwise kind of smooth water? Are you seeing, fish literally jump out of the water? What are you looking for when you are doing this kind of sight fishing like this?
Right. So it's kind of cool. So I got to tell you this too. So that during that filming, that was the first year of the Magellan GPS. We had just stopped using Loran. I still had the Loran on the boat, and I was using the Magellan GPS for navigation. No plotters. We didn't have any chart plotters. They didn't exist. Just numbers. That's all we got to see. We were able to put waypoints in, but no chart plotters. Now, when we were looking for that fish, if it was real calm during the day, that fish would create texture.
You'd see the texture from that fish. It would look like a little bit of a wind line. Sometimes you'd have birds on it. Sometimes there wouldn't be any birds on them. It'd just be texture. You'd just be looking and it would look like a little bit of maybe breeze on the water, a little bit of texture. But when you start to get a little bit of wind on the water or a little bit of texture, not a lot where it's whitecap and a little bit of texture, it's the opposite. It starts to slick it off. You start to see this slick form where these things are breezing. You can tell that the texture has changed. And so, but that's, I mean, you could still call it texture. We're looking for texture on the water. And anybody that spends enough time on the water, I could be talking to everybody on the show in the wheelhouse and look right through you while I'm talking to you and see a spot of fish at my 9 o'clock out of my peripheral vision, just because I'm so used to looking at the water that I can tell if there's any texture, any change, a ripple, fish pushing water, a bird dipping. I'm going to see it.
Yeah, any change in the surface is what you're looking for. Anything that's different than the norm.
Yep. And you can just tell it's moving. I mean, you get so good at looking at water. Like I said, I can have 3, 4, 5 people in the wheelhouse talking my ear off, and I might be looking at them, but I'm looking through them.
Through them.
I literally will. I never take my eyes off the water. I can see a swordfish come up and tip. I can see a marlin sleeping. I can see a breezer going across the surface while having an in-depth conversation with a person in the wheelhouse. It's just, you get used to looking at texture.
So we're going to watch the end of this real quick, and then we'll jump back in here.
We got a traffic jam here, guys.
Under you, please. Under you.
Step back and let him in. Step backwards and let him in. There we go. Follow that and go straight down. Fresh one right here. Another hook up. Set that hook back. There we go. Don't point the rod at him. Another one. We got 4 hanging. Get down here, Todd. Okay, walk this way. Walk that way. Follow that fish. I want you to step back. I want you to step back. Here, step back. There we go. That's it.
3, 4 hanging here, guys.
Come over here. Walk. Follow me. See what this guy's doing? Come walking. Walk over here.
Hey, Chris.
What happened?
We got 4 hanging here.
Comes up. Come up over top. Walk over here. Walk over here.
Come underneath. Fresh one here, guys. Come underneath. Bait on it. Oh, look at the fish roll right here.
Walk the key. Walk.
Right on the corner.
Oh, I got something.
There's a fresh one at it, girl. Yeah, did you come off the drag, ma'am? Let him run. Get into the corner. Atta, girl.
Keep your line straight in front of you. Okay, I want you guys to cross here.
Oh, I told you.
Hey, Chucky, you hit one already. I want you to come over, sidestep over top of him. See how your lines are crossed there? There we go. Duck down, you come over the top. Look at all these yellows right behind us here, guys. That's it. Perfect.
$1 on a new bait.
There we go. Let him run a little bit if he wants to. Don't reel while he's running down there. Okay, now turn his head and pull back. Okay, guys, see how your lines are getting together here? You're gonna have to take a couple steps this way. All right? Sure, you're gonna have to walk down that way just a little bit. You want to keep that fish.
So many lines on, I can't even spin it up.
Here you go. Okay, step back and let him run through. Work your way right to the corner. Work your way right to the corner. Guys, step back and let him on in there, please. There we go. Okay, wait. Okay, you. 18. Yeah. Okay, I want you to lift up. Now reel, go down. That's it, just like that. Okay, lift up. Now reel and go down. Go down a little bit slower. Okay, now the fish is going back this way, so you got to move back this way again. Guys, hot rail here, let him on down. Okay, sir. I want you to come over the top of him now. There you go. Come over the top of him and underneath the lady right next to you. Over top, you're doing fine. That's it. Just like that. There you go. Okay, now walk over this way. Got color. Okay, no, wait. Here. Give me around this way, sir. Here, follow me like that. There you go. There you go. Follow. Come around this way. Got color on this thing. Hand me down. Yellowtail. Got a big one. Okay.
Ah, I spit the hook
Spit
right
the hook.
there.
Almost, yeah.
Just spit the hook right there.
A lot of spinning reels bent sideways.
That Todd's not with us anymore. He'll jump back in a minute, but that is what those of us in this industry live for, a bite like that. Chris Pica went on to be a phenomenal captain for the family. That was him giving directions the whole time. That's what you want when you're on the sport boat. You want that deckhand to be helping everybody out, moving them around, doing all the things that Chris was doing there. And some people, they get a little perturbed when you're talking all the time, but gang, not everybody knows what the hell is going on out there. So if you know what's going on, you should be not even in that mess of those people back there. You should be out of there and on your way with your fish. So the next time you're in a bite like that on a boat, understand not everybody knows what's going on. So be patient with the deckhand too, because he's just directing traffic. He's not trying to piss anybody off. He's just trying to make everybody feel good about what's happening on the boat. And it's a lot of stuff going on that you can't see, that you as an angler, you don't see all the other stuff. You're locked onto your fish. So you're locked onto your fish. You don't understand, but Chris, Todd, that other deckhand, I don't know who he was, but those guys are seeing stuff you're not seeing.
Well, and also, Dave, I think one of the key points as an angler is no angles, no tangles. So like you said, you're locked in on your fish. If that fish starts to go this way, don't just stand there and try to turn him. Move with him to keep that angle straight in front of you. When you start getting the angles, that's where you start getting the tangles. So, as an angler, learn how to, your deck boots aren't cemented to the deck right there. So walk with your fish up and down the boat, around the corners. Just move with your fish. Keep no angles or no tangles is the one thing I always try to tell people.
Exactly. And Kevin, this is kind of foreign for you because you've never experienced 100 people fishing at one time on a boat.
Yeah, one corner of one boat.
It's an amazing, amazing experience. People like Todd, I don't want to say we're better, but it's just a different thing doing that with 100 people day in and day out, day in and day out. And you kind of feel the flow, and you can, Todd, myself, a lot of captains, we kind of know what the hell's going to happen before it even happens. Right, Todd?
Yeah, absolutely. We learned to work really well with people because, first of all, you have to remember that most of these people, this is the first fish like this that they've caught in a long time or ever, and their ears do not work. So they just don't. And the weird thing is their eyes don't work anymore either. They can't see what's to the right of them or to the left of them. They can only focus on the rod that's in front of them that they're holding in their hands. So you have to be able to get their attention. Sometimes you even got to kind of nudge them along a little bit, grab their rod, move them around, try to help them understand that they not only have to worry about where their fish is, but the angle of where the other fish are as well. And if you guys watch that video, now you can see how we put 600 yellowtail on the boat. We work really hard. We guide our anglers. We're like conductors. We're out there conducting this orchestra of rods and anglers and fish to come up with the best possible outcome. And as fishermen, we're all about numbers. It's how big they are and how many we can catch. That's what we love. And the worst thing for a fisherman that fishes for a living is a nice day on the water. I want to go catch something.
And this goes along. This goes along with what I talk about all the time, Todd. When that happens and that chaos is going on and everybody sees it as chaos, Todd and I, that's what we've been doing since we were little kids. That is what we want to do when we go with you. We don't want to go out there and drive around all day. That is the very farthest thing from the truth. And as you're watching this and as you're seeing it, what's happening right there, that is what we live for. That is absolutely what we want to happen every time. We don't want to spend the day driving around. So when you say, oh, the captain just wanted to drive around all day, baloney. We want that. And we want that the whole time. It's way harder for us working to drive around.
Yeah. You know, and you can tell by how we deal with people in a stressed, situation of all those fish, that we become really good at working with people. So that's why Dave and I are the type of individuals that we are, is because we had 120 eyeballs expecting everything from us. And then when we gave it to them, they tried their hardest to screw it up.
Well, and also, Todd, you said, it's complete chaos and people lose focus on anything except their rod and reel. It's like being in the zone. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's really the essence of the sport. When you're on a big fish, it just becomes you and that fish. And these guys, like you said, a 20-pound yellowtail may be the first and biggest fish of their lives. So for them, for us, it's just another yellowtail. But for them, that's a fish of a lifetime. And they are completely focused on that fish. And don't even know what's going on next to them. And that's where, you come in and you help coach them, keep moving to the left, go to the corner, get around the corner. And you're just helping them to learn how to do it. But being engaged like that, where you're fully zoned in on that fish, that's what I live for. So there's really nothing wrong.
100%.
But if you expand that.
We're so good at it that we don't realize that we're paying attention to what the people are doing around us too. And we're communicating. If I'm fishing next to a handful of guys that are maybe a little less experienced, I'm coaching them to what I need them to do with their fish so that I don't end up tangling with them or them tangling with me. And I can do that while still focusing on any fish. It doesn't matter what size, whether it be, big bluefin, big tuna, hanging 6 striped marlin at a time, 6 sailfish. It doesn't matter. We all, you work together to try to make sure that you have that best final outcome.
Absolutely.
And a good friend of mine, Mike Lewis, he asked, do you guys troll coming back when you got all that fish on the boat? You put a rod or two out to troll on the way back in? Gang, after a day like that, there is no reason to troll. We don't want any more fish. We got to clean the fish. We got to get back to the dock. We got to get the people off the boat, because what's going on right when we get in? We got twilight. 90% of the boats had twilight back then. You had to get back in, get out. There is really, in Southern California, there's not a lot of fish following the boat because you're filleting fish. I've never seen it. What about you, Todd?
Oh, a little bit, but not much. I mean, there's times where we'd have somebody with a lot of times we'd end up hanging a carcass because we're throwing, carcasses over, because and even still now on our day boats, our sport boats, not necessarily our multi-day boats, but certainly our day boats and our 3/4 day and half day, we fillet all the fish for everybody. We take care of fish handling. And, when you have that many fish on the boat and you're throwing those carcasses over, a lot of times we're hanging them. But I have had a couple times where guys are, dragging something. It seemed like it was always like a Mike Shaw or somebody like that just couldn't stand it. And they had to go put something out. And, you never know. It might give you some dope for the next day. Maybe you hang one on the way home and gosh darn it, we still got to cut all these fish. And now we're winding one in. And as soon as you hang one on the troll, everybody grabs their rods and throws a bait out. You got to clear the fillet board. So it's not common practice, but we do it a little bit. But when we have that many fish on the boat, we got to get it all cut. And I'm just going to say this. I'm tipping our hats, but I'll put anybody at the fillet board with me and Dave. And there's a couple other people, George Clough and maybe 10 Best. And I don't think there's too many people that could beat us as far as properly filleting a fish and getting the best possible yield and getting it done fast. I ended up filleting limits of calico bass for 4 people yesterday at Catalina Island, from Orange Rock to Church Rock, and then got the marlin lures out and started trolling for striped marlin off the east end. I had them done, and so that's only 20 bass, but I had all the bass done, filleted, bagged, and marlin lures out from Orange Rock to Church Rock. What's that? 2 miles?
2
The
miles.
kids these days that work on the sport boats.
Yeah.
they'd be cleaning them all the way into the harbor. Me and Dave used to cut 600 sand bass on the morning half day, get in, unload passengers at 11:30, load passengers at 12, and go back out and catch 600 more.
And drank.
We didn't do any drinking. We didn't do anything. We were saints. I had my Bible with me.
Yeah. No, back in the day, I could fillet fish and drink beer faster than anybody on the planet. I could, and I did. But Tim Ogilvy asked a really cool question that I think Todd and I can answer. How long did it take us to not get pissed at the people when it was going on? Well, you don't start out directing traffic like Chris Pica was doing or Todd. You start back when we were doing this. You started out as a pinhead and you kind of watched what was going on and you didn't get involved and you watched and you looked up to people like Mel Bacon and Todd's father, John Manzer, and my dad.
Your dad.
And Bob Lorman. And we hoped for the opportunity to move up. But we watched these guys that were older than us that did it the same way that you're watching Chris Pica do it and Todd Manzer do it. So we didn't have a chance to get pissed because, oh my God, if you got pissed, you were taken up into the wheelhouse and it wasn't a good conversation. It was back in those days, you had a real conversation. No one gave a SHIT about your feelings. Feelings in the 70s and 80s and most of the 90s, feelings did not matter, gang. If you had feelings, you were on the wrong boat.
Yep. Absolutely. And we worked for some guys that taught us some pretty good, I want to say work ethics. We both worked for Mike Thompson. We both worked for your dad. We worked under Doug Harmon. We worked for some pretty tough guys to work under. Tony Spagnolini, boy, he was a beaut. He was a good one to work for. I remember one day he pulled out the skill saw and started doing construction on the boat. A wide open bite at Capt St. Clemente Island. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, we definitely learned our skills from the guys that came before us.
Yeah, so you didn't get an opportunity to jump in the mix there until you were trained enough. It's not like nowadays. It's a totally different world nowadays. Maybe Todd could do it, but I don't have a filter. I know you guys all know that. You've seen me speak enough. There is no way I could work in this work ethic or this work field today. There's just no way. We would be in HR all day, every single day.
You'd have to be HR.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how these guys do it. These guys that are fishing today, these captains that are fishing today with all these people, all these deckhands that have feelings, it doesn't make sense to me.
I tell you one thing though, and to this person's question, as I got older, there was a time where I felt like I was a little bit more, a little less disappointed when people lost fish, because we would get very disappointed in bites like this when somebody would cause a tangle or somebody would thumb the spool and break a fish off and do things wrong, and we would get pretty irritated. But it was only because we wanted a better outcome. But as we got older and the black turned gray, we started to just say, you know what, if we caught them all, there wouldn't be any left. And don't worry, you're going to catch another one. That's part of it. That's fishing. And I think that there was a maturity involved in that for me. And another thing too, to say, how I deal with other anglers on other boats. I used to scream at people when they came up and, drove up next to me or did something stupid. And as I got older, I'd look over at that boat with his grandkid or his wife. And yeah, I can make him look like a complete idiot. But these days, I just invite them to get closer. If it's that important, get on over here. Do you need bait? What is it that you need? Because you're just learning to fish for boats. And I stopped yelling.
Need a hamburger and a Coke?
Yep. It's just kind of, I think you get old and you start doing things a little bit differently.
We used to use those skiffs as target practice with the jigs.
Yeah.
See if you can put it through the windshield.
Yeah, and nowadays a lot of these guys on skiffs are better anglers than most people driving boats. I mean, it's definitely changed.
Yeah.
I just became a member of the Dana Point Angling Club, and when
Great.
asked why I never became an angler before or a member before, I said, well, back in the the 80s and the 90s, I didn't think you guys were at my level, but now you guys are better anglers than I am. I mean, you're spending more time, you're networking, you got more heart into it. I'm proud to be a part of it. Thank you for allowing me to be part of it. Our angler today is a completely different breed of cat than it was yesterday. Our anglers are very involved. They've got all sorts of social platforms to look at gear, understand fishing techniques, and get involved. And I'm really proud of our industry and how evolved we've become. Anglers today are amazing, and our technology and our tackle and our sponsors, everybody involved. We've stepped it up, and I'm proud to be a part of this industry.
Well, back in the day, Todd, the only place you could learn was on the dock or on board a boat. And
Yes.
today, look at what we have available. Look what Dave's done. I mean, I don't know how many thousands of videos, how-tos he's put out. I mean, you can learn how to fish today off your computer and then
Sure.
go and apply that. Well, before you never even had that knowledge.
Yeah.
You just had to be there to get the knowledge. And it was intimidating. And it's so cool today to see, like you said, today's angler is a completely different beast than there was just 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, look at that.
My generation has no excuse now. I mean, to your point, we have more access to information than we have ever had before.
Yep. Yeah, it's such a benefit. So years ago, David, Michael, and I had an idea of how to help the fishing industry by giving them every bit of information that they could possibly have. And the reason why we wanted to do that, and Dave went ahead and did it with Your Saltwater Guide, was because we wanted a better outcome. We didn't want people to have to call vessel assist because their boat broke down. We didn't want them to go out and catch nothing and have tell their wives why they spent $3,000 on their day out that they went with their boat and burnt fuel and then still came in and had to have the boat fixed. We wanted to have success. The higher the success rate, the stronger the industry. The stronger the industry, the more we are united to work with each other and protect our rights to fish.
Right
And
on.
so we need to have everybody on the same page. Everybody having a good time, everybody catching fish, everybody's boats working properly, have a strong network and get together and come together to protect our rights as fishermen in the state of California and in the United States of America.
Absolutely. I'm in.
That's it. That's why we're on here today. We're not on here so we can hear each other talk. We're on here because we're trying to strengthen the industry.
Yep.
Although it is kind of cool.
Great point, Todd. Great point.
Absolutely, Todd. If you think about what's going on right here, right now, Todd Manser and I are sitting here co-hosting a show with our idol. I'm sorry, Michael, but you were our idol growing up as we were kids. We wanted to be on your show. We wanted to be on your show so freaking bad. We wanted to be the best at what we did so we could be on Michael Folks's show.
Well,
I still brag and tell people when I tell people that I'm a friend of Michael Folks and the stuff that we did, I'm bragging. When you came out and did that first Twilight show with me, I was in hog heaven. Now, you might have noticed that I wasn't shy of the camera.
Yeah. You were so fun to work with because you were not shy.
Oh, not shy of a camera, and I'll talk and talk and talk. I loved it. That was the best thing ever. And doing the shows we did, they were just exceptional. And I want to go back to another point. One of the reels I saw of yours the other day with Frank Lopresti shows how evolved we are. Frank talks about casting and how how to cast further. You have to have more arch. You have to get more height. It's not casting straight streamline. And he's explaining these things that people just didn't know that day. People would go and practice their golf swing at the driving range every day, but you didn't see anybody going out into the field and learning how to cast and practicing their casting. But nowadays, they kind of do. People are working on it. they're working on their technique. They're working on all this stuff because they have different platforms to help them understand how to do it and the necessity for understanding it.
Yep.
That was a good reel, by the way. That was old school right there. That was a good one.
Cool stuff. Yeah, Frank did a good job. Randy.
Well,
pretty cool. That stuff's 25 years old and it's still pertinent.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
And now you working with Elliot and putting together all these little clips and everything. It's just absolutely phenomenal to see all this stuff coming up. And then you talking and doing the clips about what this was about or what that was about, or it's all working together. And it's like Todd said, and Michael says all the time, we are sharing some of the most important things that we learned growing up, gang. When I put together this website back in 2017, Michael and Todd and I tried to do it in 2013, 2014. It's a hell of a thing to do. And to put the information together, back in the 70s and 80s, I'd have been killed. I'd have been shot. My throat would have been slit. I'd have been thrown over the side. There was nobody sharing nothing.
Oh, numbers were sacred.
Yep.
You know, you didn't give your spots away, and you didn't give your techniques away because you wanted the numbers, like you were saying, Todd. Running a sport boat's all about your count. Yep. And you didn't want to have somebody else coming out and taking your spots or using some of your techniques. But today it's all changed, and we really have united, I think, as an industry, where the egos that we grew up with, let's say in the 60s and 70s, where these guys are larger than life. Like you said, Dave, you never wanted to get called up into the wheelhouse crew member. No. But today it's just, there's so much information that's so readily available. I think the whole industry's changed and become much more united because of it.
Yep.
And I think
and on behalf of my generation of anglers, and I know I've said this multiple times, but truly thank you to the three of you that have put this content out there and captured it and are so willing to share with it. It makes things for my generation possible that I think we take for granted. That, you know, I have all this YouTube, I have Your Saltwater Guide, that, you know, you guys have been willing to share this. You guys had to figure this out on the fly. So I can't thank you guys enough for being willing to, you know, be our guides and teach us the ropes.
Well, and there's up and comers that are going to be doing the same thing, and I don't know what the future is going to look like, but if you go back 100 years to what we've accomplished now, I think that some of these new kids that are running boats, I mean, Aliar, I'm just so proud of that guy, and so many others that I see great influences in the future. We've got influencers like you guys that are just an amazing help to this industry. We're going places. This is the beginning of a united operation that gives us strength to stop the hatred towards fishing.
Yeah.
And it's not really hatred. You know what it is? It's feelings, and it's ANGOs and NGOs, and it's special interest, and the most conservative person on the water is the fisherman.
Yep, absolutely, no question. And the most caring person on the water are the anglers.
Absolutely. I've been part of helping schools completely ban balloons to help stop polluting in our waters. But I'm I'm a fisherman. I've spoken to 55,000 students on marine ecology and migratory marine mammals since just 2008 alone, and I'm a fisherman. So we're the good guys. We're the guys trying to keep a clean air, clean water, healthy environment, and a strong fishery. We're not trying to catch the last one. We might joke about it, but really what we want is our grandchildren have a right to catch a fish.
Couldn't have been said any better, Todd.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been said any better, sir.
Well, Todd, we're going to watch part 2 of this invasion of El Nino next week. What do you think?
That sounds cool. That's a good one. I think that's the one where we start catching yellowfin. Billy Miyagawa would be on the radio on that one, and a lot to talk about. I will have Starlink. I've got a few fishing trips planned next week. I'm not sure exactly what days, but We're the fishing starting to pick up. It's really been a lot of fun out here. I'd like to make it back on the show, so I'll do what I can, like I did today. I got to tell you guys what I've done, and just to be here with this audience, I installed a Dometic refrigeration system this morning on one boat. I installed a brand new set of 21-foot outriggers and rigged triple riggers on another boat. I'm driving to Long Beach right now to go work on the 61 Viking that I run and get that thing ready for this weekend. And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to take care of 4 horses, a beautiful wife, and 2 kids.
Oh, God.
They're not kids anymore.
All right,
So
you guys.
basically
Well, I
have
gotta haul
nothing
ass.
going on.
I got to go to the airport. Goodbye, everybody. Love you. Thanks for watching the show today. We'll see what happens. You know, I'll be here. You know, Michael will be here. You know, Kevin will be here. And hopefully
Todd will be here.
Todd will
Yeah,
join
I'll do
us.
my best, guys. I'd love to be here. Just do like you did today, and I'll get on.
All right, cool.
Great seeing you.
Bye,
Great
everybody.
seeing you guys too.